back. You're watching Make in India New Deal for Defence, and we're looking at the story of Punj Lloyd. Now, despite being relatively new to the defence manufacturing segment, the company harbours big ambitions. It's eyeing over $1 billion in order book by 2020. Rituparna Bhuyan met up with the chairman of the group, Atul Punj, and here's a slice of that conversation and his vision for the defence sector.
Thank you so much. The Punj Lloyd Group has got a diversified portfolio, be it infrastructure, be it utilities, be it energy, and now the company wants to have a greater role in the defense sector as well. And to talk about the company's growth plans, we have with us the chairman of the group, Mr. Atul Punj. Thank you so much for joining us, sir.
Pleasure.
Let me start out with what the kind of plans that you have regarding defense. Of course, Punj Lloyd has been part of the supply chain as far as the defense sector is concerned, but now it seems that you are now getting ready to be a whole-time systems integrator, graduating to be a whole-time systems integrator in the defense sector. What are the plans as far as the defense sector is concerned, and what kind of strategy do you have to have a greater role in the defense sector?
Well, firstly, at the outset, it's not a new initiative for us. There's an initiative that has been in the works now for almost 5 years. We had actually were one of the first people to get our licenses when the government of India opened up the sector for private participation. We invested about 150 crores in a state-of-the-art facility in Manipur, which you're familiar with.
Can you give us an idea about the kind of investments that have already been made in the defense space and the kind of plans regarding investments that you have going forward in the defense sector?
Well, I think what we've done is made the core investment already in the core facility, which is to the tune of about between 180 to 200 crores, depending on which way one looks at it. So the core investment is already in place. The rest, any new investments will be made on the back of project wins. You
also have some industrial licenses regarding the defense aerospace segment, if I'm correct. So what kind of plans do you have as far as the defense aerospace segment is concerned?
Well, that is, it's an evolving space. We can have plans, but if there is not enough, there are no bids coming out for us to participate in. So as and when the opportunities arise, at least we have our licensing in place, so we don't need to go through that process to be able to participate in a program, and we'll take that call as and when the bids come out.
Right. 155 52 cal. That is one area. That's a howitzer, which there's a huge requirement in different formats for the Indian Army. BAE Systems has won kind of contract regarding the supply of its M777 howitzer. It is again looking at Indian partners. Will Punj Lloyd be open to partnering with overseas companies in defense programs like the M777? Are you in talks with anyone?
Well, see, as I mentioned earlier, that we have a core capability which will be relevant to many different programs for many OEMs. As I said, in some cases we would want to be the OEM ourselves. In other cases, we are happy to be tier 2 or even tier 3 partners. So we are in dialogue with almost every major international company that is looking to supply into India, including BAE. So we have been having interactions with many people. As you know, that there has been a large interest suddenly from corporate India. So it is almost like the gold rush in the old days. But that I find in India happens almost every time a new sector opens up.
We have seen in the past, at least the past 1 year, that the policy space regarding defense is changing very fast. A lot of policies have been made, be it FDI, be it regarding industrial licensing, and a lot of policies are going to come in the next perhaps a month or so. Let me start with one issue regarding policy, and this is relevant to Punj Lloyd as well, and this is regarding blacklisting. There were instances in the past where some of your former partners got blacklisted, be it Rheinmetall, be it STL. The reason I'm asking you this question is, does blacklisting of companies in defense sector help? Does it not actually compromise our strategic needs? What is your opinion on this sensitive issue?
Well, to the last part of your question, yes, of course, when you blacklist, sometimes all companies that can potentially supply a program that India needs are blacklisted, then obviously it impacts your strategic positioning. It does compromise your defense preparedness. Also, a lot of this blacklisting happens on allegations pending inquiry.
Right.
So I think the key is to blacklist a company when they've been found to have done something wrong. Not be judge, jury and executioner before the fact. It is important to do that after the fact, so people don't follow an unethical practice going forward.
Let's talk about the foreign investment policy regarding defense. 49% is allowed, you can go up to 100%. But given the current contours of the policy, do you believe that foreign players will be interested in having a Indian partner with ownership? Will technology transfer happen given the current FDI regime?
I believe it will. I think we are shooting ourselves in the foot if we try to start insisting on a 75% or 100%. If you look at sector by sector in India, very often you start off with a 26%, then they move to a 49, then they move to a 51, then they've gone up to 74. So I don't think we should really be trying to jump the gun and ask for an ideal space. Frankly, I think currently the situation we're in is a very good place for us to be in. I think there's a fairly good opportunity for companies to come into the country, and I believe that if the Indian companies are up to the task of really putting their best foot forward, there will be no problem in finding genuine capacity addition in India. And as the opportunity in the market grows, foreign companies will be more inclined to invest, and of course then the presentations will be made to the government and a case will be made out to allow 51 or more.
Let me get your comments on one more policy intervention that happened recently, and that is regarding the composite cap. Government went for a composite cap regarding FDI, but as far as defense sector is concerned, the FII cap has been capped, has been set at 24%. They had not made any change. How do you see this policy decision?
That's fine. I think, as I said earlier, let's not try to shoot ourselves or try to aim too high right now. And many countries in the world have FDI and FII caps on their defense sector, telecom sector, which are much more stringent than what India has. I think we've got a good place to start. The opportunities are coming up thick and fast. Let's see as to what the success rate of Indian companies or Indian partnerships is in that space, and we can then look at that issue again.
What about the export, defense export policy? Because that will be crucial for SMEs and MSMEs. Is the current export policy conducive enough for the Indian industry as far as the defense sector is concerned?
I believe that there is a relook being done on that policy, where the policy actually is being framed. Right now, I don't think there's an export policy as far as defense is concerned. So there's a list of positive countries that's been made out where the Indian defense products can be exported, and once we have more clarity on that, which hopefully should be in the next month or so, it'll be much more clear.
Right. My last question regarding the defense policy. The DPP, the defense procurement policy, is up for an upgrade. Going by your experience in the defense sector, what are the top 3 recommendations or top 3 changes that you would like to see in the defense procurement policy?
Well, I think anybody in the sector would be interested in seeing how the process can be expedited, because this time period that currently historically has been between 3 and 7 years to take a decision, and in some cases after 5 years the program is cancelled because technology has moved on. If that period can be cut short as part of the policy, the process in the policy, would be a huge difference.
One another issue which many analysts, and this is one issue which many analysts are watching regarding Punj, and that is regarding your liquidity position. Can you tell us something about that? Because many believe that as far as Punj is concerned, the liquidity position, it's a bit stressed. So if you can just tell us about what kind of strategy do you have to deal with this?
I think liquidity again is an industry-wide phenomenon. It is not only focused on Punj Lloyd. As far as we are concerned, we've gone for a corrective action plan to the banks, which was actually agreed in principle last October. Given the process time that it took, it was finally signed off, if I'm not wrong, on the 25th of June. So the corrective action plan is in place, where additional facilities, liquidity, etc. becomes available to us. So we now have a breather, and coupled with the new wins that we're having, I think the cash flow momentum will pick up again.
Atul Punj, it was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for joining us at CNBC TV 18.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Well, that was Atul Punj outlining the company's ambitions in the defense space. He certainly hopes that it will be one of the key players in air defense and the artillery segment in the coming years. And with many programs coming up, it could be a reality. We will meet you again next week with another company. Till then, from all of us here on the Make in India team, goodbye and many thanks for watching.